Hi, let's talk about Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon is a film I just came across on Shudder. I had no knowledge of it before. I just browsing through the categories and thought, oh, it's a quiet afternoon, I'll stick this on. We've been out for our walk, it was all windy and wet outside. We thought, well, this is just something we can just put on and sort of second screen while it's on. What happened was I was pleasantly surprised by this very entertaining sort of horror comedy meta film. It starts off on the premise that it is a documentary crew following the sort of process that a new slasher is going through in order to select his victims, get ready for being a slasher. He's building his backstory, references sort of Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, and it's set in a world where sort of all these slashers live and have existed. He's sort of a relatively normal guy, but he's just, for reasons that they say we're not going to explain now, you'll just have to understand as you watch the film, but he wants to be a slasher. He learns things like magic and escapology, so that when he's tied up, people can turn around and he's gone, he's escaped. And you see that he's sort of training and practicing and setting things up in advance, so that sort of if someone gets a weapon, then it breaks on them. He goes, oh yeah, I've got to rig all the weapons so that they break after one use, you know. And it references all of these sort of horror film tropes and cliches. And there's loads of sort of horror film references throughout it, whether it be characters' names, things in their houses, in the buildings, just all throughout. So if you're a horror film fan, there'll be something to keep either your ears or your eyes affixed to what's happening, to try and pick up any of those little things. There's some nice cameos from some well-known horror film actors in there. Now, spoilers. What happens halfway through the film is that it switches from a documentary film, so that sort of shaky cam, found footage style film, to an actual horror film. What you find out is that the slasher set up the camera crew, and actually the final girl is not who they think is the final girl that they have been following. It's actually the documentary maker. And then what you have is them running through this sort of house of horrors that you've seen get set up, you've heard how and why he's going to do everything, and they are part of it. But it's not shot in your sort of found footage anymore, it's shot as a proper film. And it makes it really interesting to watch, because they're fully aware and they're constantly saying to each other, hang on, we know he told us he's going to do this, he told us this doesn't work, he wants us here, and they're trying to like beat the system as they're going through it. And I just find it clever, fun and a bit refreshing to watch. I think if you're a fan of horror films and you've watched a lot of them, this is certainly something you will get enjoyment from watching. It's from 2006, it's not dated at all, considering that's now 14 years ago. And I say it's just sitting there on Shudder to be watched, and I would say give it a try. Certainly don't be too put off by the sort of documentary style that it's in. You soon get used to it, and also they do cut away a lot from the documentary style to actual proper filmmaking throughout the first half of the film anyway. So it's not all in documentary style, and they do that to sort of emphasise these sort of horror film moments that are going on. So yeah, I would say Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. Give it a watch if you're a horror film fan. Let me know what you think of it. Did you think it was clever and fun, or did you just think it was a bit derivative and boring? Please feel free to give us a thumbs up and a like and a subscribe, and thanks for watching.